For Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, I am Rikisha St. Louis. In the headlines, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says the Public Sector Employees Bill is not unconstitutional and will be implemented. And Governor General honors Grenadians for contribution and service to country. We'll have details to these stories and more when we return.
Are you thinking about buying a vehicle? Did you find a company on social media? Stop. It may be a scam. Look out for the following red flags. Is the price lower than other dealers? Does it seem too good to be true? Are you sending the monies to the US even though you are ordering the vehicle from Japan? Does the address on the invoice match the address on the payment details? Are conversations limited to WhatsApp text? Is there a sense of urgency placed on you by the seller? You are about to be scammed. Do not take your hard-earned cash or even worse, a loan to send to these scammers. Once the money leaves Grenada's shores, you are not likely to get it back. Consider buying a vehicle already on island from an individual or a car dealer. Beware of these scammers. If in doubt, it's best to stay out. A message from the Financial Intelligence Unit.
Welcome back. Government is satisfied that the Public Sector Employees Bill 2024 is not unconstitutional, but it simply caters to the urgent needs of employees. That's according to Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell during his appearance on GBN's television program Beyond the Headlines on Monday evening. The bill was passed in both the upper and lower houses of Parliament in December 2024 and duly assented to by the Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade. Prime Minister Mitchell said following careful consideration and consultations with legal experts, the bill will add value to the lives of hundreds of government employees who before would retire and not receive a pension for their years of hard work and service.
This isn't costing this administration anything. Understand this. We are trying to give you something that you don't have in a sustainable manner. That is yours. All of those who talk about constitution and constitutionality, they have theirs already. 10 times over. And they have never sought to give you anything. So for me, this is not an issue about constitutionality. We are satisfied, having worked with consultants, having worked with the Attorney General's chambers, that there is nothing unconstitutional about the bill. The bill is not taking away anybody's rights. As I've said, the bill explicitly repeals the Pension Disqualification Act. The only people who have any right to a pension right now are these established public officers who are currently working.
He explained that the pension reform seeks to promote sustainability of government and the country.
This whole notion of established and non-established workers is a notion that ultimately, I'm going to use this word, will no longer be of any distinction with a meaning. Because to a large extent, the single almost defining act of this is these pension issues. The more the government has to become the single biggest employer in a country, the more the country will fail. Who pays the government? It's not the people who work for the government that pays the government. It's the rest of the population. It's the businesses, it's the private sector people. They are the ones who have to pay the taxes. And that is the taxes that we use to fund the government, and the government is you, if you work for the government. It's the services the government provides to the citizens, most of which are provided through you, policing, prison, etc. So if the only employees are government employees, then you have a failed state. And I think history has proven that attempts to make the state the sole employer everywhere in the world has failed. So we need to understand that this is not just about the pensions and so on. This is about the sustainability of the government and, by extension, the sustainability of the country.
Prime Minister Mitchell reiterated that if the current structure remains, many Grenadian employees will not enjoy their retirement.
Under the current system that we have, there are public servants who are going to retire, and they're going to be paid. When you combine the NIS pension and the current what I call unfunded taxpayers pension, where they are going to be paid more money on their retirement than when they were working. In some cases, as much as 120% of their salaries. And right next to them, if we don't proceed with this pension reform bill, are going to be people who, if we left this system in place, where they were told to pay their NIS and all these kinds of things, will be retiring with not a pension. Not an NIS one, not a government one.
Grenadians who have contributed significantly to the development of the country in various areas were honored during an investiture ceremony on Tuesday. Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade presided over the ceremony to recognize those who have received birthday honors from 2021 to 2024 and also the 2024 New Year's Honor awardees. Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade congratulated all who were awarded and encouraged them to wear their insignia with pride, encouraging others to be of service.
Investiture ceremonies are not only very meaningful to the recipients of awards, their families and friends, but also to our society as a whole. They are the formal expression of the difference that commitment, dedication, and service of our outstanding men and women are making to the well-being of our nation and its people. To all outstanding awardees, I thank you for everything you have done for our country. I share the pride and joy of your friends and family as you are honored here today. I encourage you to wear your insignia as a badge of honor, as it will serve as a powerful source of inspiration and motivation to those who seek to emulate you.
Among the honorees were Mrs. Joan Purcell, awarded Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire, DBE, for her service to government and the community, and former Prime Minister Tilman Thomas, who received the Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE.
I'm humbled, first of all, surprised. You know, it was indeed a real surprise to have been awarded that at that level. And I hope that I'll be an example to our young people in Grenada that an ordinary person can indeed be awarded an honor that is, you know, such an honor.
Well, I feel satisfied because I have dedicated some time to public service, but I haven't done it by myself. My family, I had family support, and other persons inspired me. And I've always been committed to building and strengthening democratic institutions. So I believe it's those who've been observing my conduct in society, they recognize what I've been involved in. We need to build good human relationships. We have to respect each other, and we need to strengthen our institutions. You know, it's not about individuals, it's about institutions. Respect our institutions and create an atmosphere where our young people could get involved in improvement and to contribute to national well-being.
On the 2024 birthday honors are Mrs. Joan Purcell, DBE, Miss Agnes Dorothy Leslie, member of the British Empire for services to community, Mrs. Elizabeth Forsyth, and Mr. Gerald Bethel, awarded the British Empire Medal BEM for services to education and contribution to entrepreneurship, respectively.
I am really excited and grateful for the acknowledgement of my efforts, which I never knew was making such an impact, you know, and I really thank God that He has given me this honor today. I just want to encourage all of Grenada to give your all to your nation, you know, because whatever we give, the Lord gives us in return. And I'm grateful that my father taught me that wherever I go, whatever I do, go in there with my 2 feet and work as hard as I can. And when I'm leaving, leave with my 2 feet so that, my impact can be felt. And, that has guided my steps throughout everything that I have been involved in. And I'm so grateful.
The 2024 New Year's Honours recognized Mr. Neil Ferguson, member of the British Empire for Culture, Mr. Leroy Joseph, Order of the British Empire for Policing, Ms. Christina Batson, member of the British Empire for Education, Mr. Alwyn Eno for Entrepreneurship, and Bishop Dave King, British Empire Medal for Religious Affairs and Social Work.
I feel humble and appreciative on receipt of this prestigious award. Hard work pays off, and I'm happy to know I'm recognized for the effort put into after 36 years of serving in immigration from 87 to 2023. I believe it pays off today, and I'm very happy. And I believe I can do all things through Christ that strengthen me. And it was hard work, but I made it at the end, and I'm happy to be here today.
Order of the British Empire were awarded to Mr. Richard Duncan and Mr. Paul Phillip for banking and contributions to sports, respectively. Mr. Kimberlyn Mills, member of the British Empire, for contributions to sports and culture, and Dr. Clinton Lewis for humanities in 2021.
Yeah, I feel very elated. First of all, while it has been bestowed onto me, it is a result of the support I've had from my wife, Petal, my daughter, Avalon, over the years, and in particular, the support of my colleagues at Grenada Cooperative Bank. I recall Dion Moses, Jennifer Robinson, Wanda Squires Francis, Floyd Down, and the list goes on, Kester Joseph. So we worked very hard at the bank over the years, and while family and co-workers are the main contributors, I am the recipient. So for that, I feel it's an honor for me, for my family, and for my colleagues over the many years at the bank.
The honor means something, and I think it means a lot to the people around me who have been for years thinking of me as an example for young people, a father figure, a mentor, whatever. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to me. I will just continue to be who I am. It's just an honor, but I'm continuing to do my job. This is what has been laid on my heart to do, and I just feel comfortable doing it, and respect the fact that people think that I deserve more.
Continuing the news, local poultry company Grenada Chick-In Farm Limited commenced the new year with a goodwill gesture that is expected to enhance agricultural education programs within schools, teaching students about animal rearing, the business of farming, and the importance of local consumption. Kyron Costdale, head of the organization, donated 300 layers to the 4-H unit within the Ministry of Agriculture following discussions with the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation, ICA. A delegation from the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources collected the layers on Monday at the company's farm in Phillips-Pack, St. Andrew. The agribusiness entrepreneur expects that the collaboration will educate and inspire the next generation of agricultural leaders by exposing them to the poultry industry.
Thanks again for giving us the opportunity to donate these lively chicks to the ministry. Again, this is a collaborative effort, and we look forward to working with the ministry going forward to provide vibrant chicks to the local economy at a cheaper price so we can shore up our food security on the island, because at the end of the day, if we can feed ourselves, we can better ourselves without having to depend on others for our meat. So these chicks, they're now a couple days old, 2-3 days old. They should start laying by June. And I'm also donating the egg trays so that the schools can earn some income by selling the eggs by the trays. It's a very good initiative because we want to get the young people involved as early as possible, because it's not all about, working in an office. The guy working in the office, he needs to eat as well. So the food comes from somewhere. It's not just, snap your finger and go to the store and the food is there. You have to grow the food, harvest the food, process the food, and getting them involved in the process as early as possible gives them an advantage, because they will know that there's additional sources of earning an income as opposed to, the 9-to-5 regular jobs that some of the students are being pushed into.
Gregory Del Sol, National Specialist for the Inter-American Cooperation for Agriculture, described the initiative as a collaborative venture that can support the school feeding program and other activities within schools.
It's a collaborative thing. Mr. Crossdale reached out to us. We reached out to the ministry. Mr. Crossdale is providing the layers, the birds, yeah. And next week Friday, he's going to provide us with some broilers as well. So the schools that we are going to hand these chicks over to via the 4-H program they're going to have broilers and layers. So that would help support the school feeding program.
On behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, we'd like to say thank you so much to Mr. Crossdale and Grenada Chicken Farm for this donation of chicks and the egg crates that will be given to the schools. We know how important it is for young people to be part of the whole agricultural industry, and these chicks will be going to the 4-H gardens, 4-H enterprises at the schools, and so the young children will learn how to take care of them, the whole process of taking care of them, growing them up, then the harvesting, and then the processing of these birds, and of course to see how it's a business and how they can earn from it. So we are so grateful to you. We look forward to further initiatives, both with yourself, other organizations, and of course our long-standing commitment and relationship with ICA. So we look forward to other initiatives such as this. And again, thank you.
Acting 4-H Coordinator Melissa Tyson says that the department remains committed to promoting agricultural education and supporting initiatives like this.
This would be the first time we would be doing layers, and we're excited about it. Our 4-H program, we build a lot of life skills and leadership in children. So this will not only be a venture for them to learn about layer production, it's also an opportunity for them to see the business aspect of it, to how you grow it from start to finish, the different aspects of poultry production, especially the egg production, which would be something new.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Lands also donated feed to support the poultry ventures for the 4-H unit. Grenada Chicken Farm Limited is a family-owned poultry business that was established in 2017 in Felix Park, St. Andrew. This is the GIS News. When we return, registration is open for the 2025 Made in Grenada Independence Expo on February 7th.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it's crucial for us to conserve water at home. When washing my vehicle, I use a bucket with rainwater that I have stored. This is how I save water. What are you waiting for?
If it's one thing we know for sure, life is an unpredictable journey, full of twists and turns, but no matter where it takes you, the National Insurance Scheme is here, ready to support you every step of the way. Sickness benefits ensures that you can focus on recovery, not financial stress. Maternity allowance and grant provides essential support to start your beautiful journey of parenthood. The unemployment benefits act as a safety net, giving you peace of mind during challenging times. Employment injuries can be daunting, but NIS provides comprehensive coverage, including injury benefit, medical expenses, disablement, and death benefits. At NIS, your well-being is priority. Now you can face challenges confidently, knowing that support is just a claim away. Contact us today to find out more about the range of benefits, or visit our website at www.nisgrenada.org.
Welcome back. Registration is now open for the 2025 Made in Grenada Expo, which showcases food, arts and craft, and other aspects of the country. The Expo is part of activities held to commemorate independence on February 7th. Annually, the Expo attracts manufacturers, small business owners, agro-processors, and members of the creative industry interested in building networks and marketing their products. Ms. Nacelle Regis, Trade Information Officer within the Division of Trade, told GIS registration will close on January 24th at 4 p.m.
Normally, we have a directory of manufacturers which we gather annually, and we disseminate to these persons, as well as we normally would give the general public notice where they can walk in and do registration physically. But we mostly try to go the online way because, as you know, the Prime Minister alluded to the fact that he wants to have reduction where we go paperless or no more than 5 prints. So we really encourage our manufacturers and our producers to please get hold of an email address, one that is working, one that you are in connection with daily. Because it is not something that you should go when you feel like. You should always be visiting your email. You never know when you have a contact for a quota to fulfill, and only how you can do so is in connection with your email. Persons, once you make payments at the government treasury or cash sub-offices, please return your receipts to the Division of Trade, Financial Complex Building, Carriacou, St. George's. It is important in order to complete the registration process. It cannot be done in isolation where you pay and we do not know who pay. So you must return those receipts to the division so that we can complete your registration process. This is normally the norm, so we just want to ask persons to ensure that they do that in a timely manner. Registration will close on the 24th of January, 4 p.m. sharp.
The division is encouraging early registration and payment as the spaces are limited and less than 100 vendors and businesses will be allowed to participate. Applications can be done online to email address nasil, nasil.regist@trade.gov.gd or in person.
Normally our capacity goes over 100. This year, unfortunately, we'll be looking at 60 to 80 persons partaking at that event. So it will be a first come, first serve basis. Whether it's online, after I reach my quota, I would log off. So I applaud persons to please go on and register early and not come after the registration date and say, oh, it was my intention, I usually partake. No. Because we strapped for space and time, we would love for persons to go on and register in a timely manner. Our portal is not up and running, so I would ask persons to kindly send an email to nasil.regis@trade.gov.gd to make any connection to do with registration process. I would repeat this, nasil, NASSIL.regis, REGIS, @trade.gov.gd to make any registration request.
Government has been promoting the implementation of transformative projects that focus on building resilience and are outcome-oriented. During an interview on the GBN television program Beyond the Headlines on Monday evening, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell said during 2025 and beyond, government through the Ministry of Education will embark on an education curriculum transformation initiative. This will incorporate hard and soft skills training from the primary level to align education development to employment opportunities available in the country. The project will be spearheaded by a permanent secretary and other supporting staff to ensure smooth execution.
We are creating delivery units where we'd have a permanent secretary permanently assigned to tackle that particular transformative project, and the education curriculum and the introduction of skills training, both hard and soft skills, to the education system is one of those. We will be appointing an executive sponsor, and we will be appointing project managers, retaining consultants, and so on to help us actually drive the delivery of these processes over a period of time. Now, education in particular is not one that will begin and end as, say, building a hospital. And so part of it, obviously, will be ultimately getting us certain targets and milestones, and then hopefully having more and more mainstreaming of this within the education system. So we will be announcing who the permanent secretary on assignment is, who the executive sponsor is, and so on within the next 30 to 45 days.
Prime Minister underscored the significance of engaging and implementing these transformative projects.
This year has been compounded by Hurricane Beryl and the need to respond to it. But even prior to that, we recognize that to some extent, the task of engaging in transformation, while at the same time keeping the lights open the days, is difficult. And the public service, in its current construct, simply doesn't have the bandwidth and the capacity to be able to take on all of it. But at the same time, we do not want to completely outsource some of the transformative projects, because we think it would be important from a learning perspective for the public service to be intimately involved in the delivery unit. Particularly, hence we want to have a permanent secretary on assignment, because we believe some of the culture, the ethos, the modalities, the procedures, the procurement, all of that will ultimately help to make the public service more efficient and more outcomes oriented, because this is one of the critical thing, and it's one of the challenges we face in the public service, that we have to projectize, if I may use that term, a lot more of what we do. There has to be a beginning and an end, and sometimes the things that just never ends, which means it never gets done. So we're hoping that by taking that approach, it will allow the public service to continue doing what we would call the normal run-of-the-mill stuff, and be efficient at it and learn from some of the delivery units. But at the same time, we need to have dedicated teams of people who, when they get up in the morning, the only thing they think of is, how do I put Grenada on a path to make sure that the education curriculum reform takes place, and that by 2026, 2027, we can show measurable progress in introducing skills training into a curriculum system, in building the centers of excellence where our students can, in fact, get that type of education, in mainstreaming it to the point that when you get to Form 1, Form 2, or Form 3, you can decide with right guidance and counseling, I don't need to spend the next 2 or 3 years of my life, quote unquote, beating books, when my passion, when my talent is in fashion design. Right? And therefore, let me study the theory of fashion design. Let me study whatever academic aspects of it that I need, so that when I get into the practical side of it.
No longer will students be allowed to focus on passing a subject that they may never use as an adult, but emphasis will be placed on nurturing talents and skills at an early age that can create employment in the future.
At the primary school level, the Ministry of Education has been introducing more and more skills, what I would call departments within the primary schools themselves, so that the children get basic exposure to some of it. We want to make sure that we push not just quantity but quality education. So you'd see that the Minister of Education has talked a lot about centers of excellence, because we think it's important, because of our population size, to make sure that we can focus. We will not be able to do every skill, right? But we think it's critical to focus on some key areas where we feel confident that, one, the skills are absolutely needed in Grenada, regionally and internationally, and where there's growth for that, so that when people are educated, they don't have difficulties finding the jobs. And second, the areas where we believe there is natural growth. It means our education system, we intend to build a new hospital. It doesn't just need doctors and nurses. It needs a host of career professionals to support that. It therefore means, both from an education and even from a scholarship and an investment point of view, we are going to have to make the decision to say, if we want our people to benefit from this, we are going to have to give more scholarships. We are going to have greater focus on education and skills that, in fact, align with the specific goal, because we believe if we get it right, it could be a transformative thing for the economy of Grenada.
Transformative projects are also on stream for agriculture, climate resilience, health, tourism, and other key pillars of the economy. Finally, in news, the Inter-American Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, has made a contribution of 400 chicks as part of wider efforts to support farmers in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. ICA National Specialist Gregory Del Sol handed over the chicks and feed to the 4 benefiting farmers.
In the post-Beryl situation, many of our farmers, crop farmers, fishers, and poultry and livestock farmers were severely affected. So we wanted, in our own small way, to make a contribution to the effort to rebuild and to get our farmers going. This farmer was just explaining to me that he lost his pen, that he's trying to start back. So we are happy that we can play a role in helping him start back and helping other farmers start back their poultry operations. We are trying to assist 14 farmers in Grenada and Carriacou. 6 will be carriacou farmers and 8 will be on the mainland of Grenada. So we are giving about 1,400 day-old chicks, 700 layers and 700 broilers to those farmers, and a donation of feed for the entire life cycle of the chicks. So we are happy to do that, and we hope it will make a dent in our food security and in livelihoods of the farmers that we are supporting. So on behalf of our representative, Mr. Greg Rawlins, I want to say to the Ministry of Agriculture and to the farmers that ICA is a partner and a friend in the whole effort to build the agricultural sector, not just here in Grenada, but across the hemisphere where we operate.
This initiative is expected to improve self-sufficiency in Grenada through increased production in poultry and reduction on the reliance of imports. Permanent Secretary David Hopkin is hopeful that the initiative can empower local farmers with the resources and support necessary to expand their operations and contribute to a robust national food supply.
Is all part of the Beryl relief efforts and partnering with Grenada, the Ministry of Agriculture specifically, in this initiative. So on behalf of the government, as well as the Ministry of Agriculture, we say thank you for this initiative.
ICA continues to support member states, including Grenada, with knowledge, capacity building, and other activities. This initiative is expected to complement Component 4 of the World Bank-funded Food Security Enhancement Project, which prioritizes support for the livestock and poultry industry. That story just ended the GIS news for Tuesday, January 7th. A recap of the headlines. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says the Public Sector Employees Bill is not unconstitutional and will be implemented. And Governor General honors Grenadians for contribution and service to country. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us.
If there's one thing we know for sure, life is an unpredictable journey, full of twists and turns, but no matter where it takes you, the National Insurance Scheme is here, ready to support you every step of the way. Sickness benefits ensures that you can focus on recovery, not financial stress. Maternity allowance and grant provides essential support to start your beautiful journey of parenthood. The unemployment benefits act as a safety net, giving you peace of mind during challenging times. Employment injuries can be daunting, but NIS provides comprehensive coverage, including injury benefit, medical expenses, disablement, and death benefits. At NIS, your well-being is priority. Now you can face challenges confidently, knowing that support is just a claim away. Contact us today to find out more about the range of benefits or visit our website at www.nisgrenada.org.
Are you thinking about buying a vehicle? Did you find a company on social media? Stop. It may be a scam. Look out for the following red flags. Is the price lower than other dealers? Does it seem too good to be true? Are you sending the monies to the US even though you are ordering the vehicle from Japan? Does the address on the invoice match the address on the payment details? Are conversations limited to WhatsApp text? Is there a sense of urgency placed on you by the seller? You are about to be scammed. Do not take your hard-earned cash or even worse, a loan to send to these scammers. Once the money leaves Grenada's shores, you are not likely to get it back. Consider buying a vehicle already on island from an individual or a car dealer. Beware of these scammers. If in doubt, it's best to stay out. A message from the Financial Intelligence Unit.